Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman. And welcome everybody, another amazing Spiritual Rockstar Podcast show. I've got a most amazing guest. I've been hearing about this soul for I don't know how long, like for so many years. Again and again, Christy Whitman, again and again. I did her program. So I'm really looking forward to sharing her with you because she's made tremendous contributions to so many people, and then she's coaching people as well. One of the things she does is coaches people to go out there and to teach the things she teaches and as coaches and to work with people. And then the ripple effect of that, that's what I love here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast is all about that. So you're definitely going to want to hear everything she's got to share after she's trained countless people around the desire factor, etc. So we're going to get right into it in one moment. Do you want to meditate and make money? Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Go to yoursacredpurpose.com and get your free Meditate Make Money meditation today. Christy, so excited to have you here. It's just such a joy to have you here today.
Thank you. I'm super excited.
Awesome. All right. So we're going to go ahead and share about you. Christy Whitman is a New York Times bestselling author and transformational leader. She has appeared on the Today Show, The Morning Show, TedX, and the Hallmark Channel. And her work has been featured in numerous publications and magazines. Christy teaches the law of attraction, energy mastery, and personal development classes, meditations, and private sessions to help clients feel more aligned with the divine design of well-being, abundance, and success. She currently lives in sunny Arizona. Sounds great to me. I live here in the Chicago area with her husband and two boys. You can meet her at www.christywhitman.com. All right.
Awesome. I used to live in Chicago for a couple of years, but I couldn't handle the winter.
Me either. I still can't handle it. I've been here most of my life, but
it's such a great city.
I escaped here and there. I lived in Louisiana for a while, in Texas and whatnot, but family is kind of has brought me back. But I've been telling my wife, we are getting into some warm weather. I am not waiting like till my very last year. So we got to do that in the near future. So anyway.
Well, that's your desire factor.
There we go.
I mean, I remember years ago when I had met my husband who lived in Montreal. So here I go to Chicago, right? Had some big epiphanies about life. I know I don't like cold. So I moved to California, lived there for 10 years. And then moved to Pennsylvania for about 6 months. And I met my husband at that time who lived in Montreal. So my boyfriend. And so we did the long distance thing, and we lived in Montreal for a good 10 years. I had my boys there with him. And we at one point said, we don't want to live here full time. I can't do this winter. I don't like it. And so we started crafting and deciding, what do we want? And since my parents and my family and my friends were always in, Scottsdale, Arizona, and I was from there, let's go there in the summer, not the summer. You don't want to go to Arizona summer. Let's go there in the winter time, right? And then go to Montreal in the summertime. So it's like we're chasing really good weather, 6 months and 6 months. And we were able to accomplish that. We had 2 houses and we had our different cars, and, we had our get settled into one, and we'd have our people that we hung out with there. And it was kind of like having 2 different lives. And so that's what we first crafted up. And then we decided, well, it's time to live just in one place. Let's move in Arizona. And so, you never know where your desires will take you, but it sure is fun in the process.
Yeah, I love that because that's exactly what's been happening in the conversations with my wife. It's like, okay, looks like I've got my stepdaughter, it has kids now and everything. And then, so we got that family, and then we got my younger girls that are growing up and teenagers and everything. And who knows where they're going to be. And so it's like, okay, but where do we want to be, right? That's what I keep thinking about. Where do we want to be? And then we can have a home base and maybe spend a certain amount of time in each place, right? So, to get creative. So we're already visioning, imagining it now. So I think it's really interesting. We're just talking about it at lunch again, that you brought it up now. Like, yeah, play with that desire, right? It's like, because my mind, like, as metaphysical and as positive as I am and everything, still like that old brain, reptilian brain or whatever you want to call it, like is like, yeah, I don't know how that'll work, and it'll cost me more money to have all these places to live in and everything. Instead of going with like what you want, knowing it easily could be provided for, right? So,
Yes.
I think that's what cuts off people from even dreaming or looking at their desire more fully. Like I could actually have that. Like they start cutting it off right away. I see myself do it, right? So,
We all
isn't
do it. We all do it. That's why I wrote the desire factor, because I literally, why this book was a couple of years in the making. But I remember I was on a cruise ship, and I just got back on the cruise ship. I was in this beautiful sweet cruise ship, and the whole wall was the ocean. It was like, it was glass, right? So I could see the ocean as we're going. And we'd just been in Venice, and I was unpacking this beautiful Dolce and Gabbana purse, and I heard my sister's voice in my head say, "That's so shallow." And I was like, where did that, I mean, who is that? Where did that come from? Because to back up and to understand what the significance of this purse was, I had started my business, left corporate America, went full-time as a coach. And when about a couple months after I did that, my mom and my dad and myself and my husband all went on a 2-week trip to Italy. And one of the trips was Venice. And we got to Venice, and I was going in and out of all these stores. It was like oh my gosh, a fashion Shangri-La. I love fashion. And so I was in and out and in and out. And my boyfriend, now husband at the time, said to me, "I don't think I can afford you." And I turned to him and I said, "You don't need to afford me, because I'm going to afford myself. Someday we're going to come back to Venice, and I'm going to go in whatever store I want to go in, not because just get whatever, but because if I feel inclined to get something, then I'm going to do it as a symbol of my success." And he said, "Watch it. You don't have to afford me." So here and now I'm back on this cruise ship. I've gifted my mom and my dad first class accommodations to go on this Mediterranean cruise with my husband, my 2 boys. The business is bringing in multi-millions of dollars a year, helping people, certifying people so that they can help other people. I mean, the integrity of the company and the expansion and all that. And I remember we were there for about a day and a half, and I was like, okay, today is shopping day. And my husband came with me, and he's like, "Wherever you want to go." And I would beep in and out of these stores. And I finally found, it wasn't the most expensive, but I found this beautiful Dolce and Gabbana bag, and I picked my color. And so here I am on that cruise ship, unwrapping it and going, wow, this represents all those years of working, all those years of inner work, all those years of working with coaches and mentors and shifting, and all the hard work I put in and all the trainings I did and all that stuff. This represents success. I said someday I'm going to come back, right? That's the carrot in front. Well, I came back, and the experience was amazing. It was I'll remember that's one of the best days of my life, going out to lunch with my husband, having pasta and wine, and, in the Venice, and hearing the music and seeing the arts. And I mean, just the whole experience of the buildings. But it's like, this represented success for me. But then that voice comes in and says, that's not okay. That there's a judgment of, who are you to have that? Or that's so shallow. It's like, wait a minute. When you think about it, the divine that's breathing you and me, that each and every person, it creates a idea. It creates an inspiration. We're the ones that receive it. Mr. Dolce and Gabbana had an idea one day to create a beautiful fashion palace of, shoes and purses and clothes. And that was their genius coming through them. Why is that bad? Because it's a material thing. We're in a material world, as Madonna said. I am a material girl. When we feel like that purse is going to be the thing that makes me happy, then we're off base, because we're looking at something outside of ourselves to provide us some kind of security, joy, feeling of success, whatever that is. I felt the success. I created the success, and the purse was a little reward or the little cherry on top because of it. A representation of that success, that work that I put in, that intention, all the things that I did, all the decisions, all the choices. that represents creating a kingdom of success in my business when I was just starting out. How is that bad? Because that pursuit, who I became in the process of that, that's the desire factor. All those ideas that are given to us from here to there, whatever the there is, becoming a New York Times bestselling author, creating a family, attracting your partner, losing weight, getting better health, whatever the desire is, the journey is what it's all about, and who you become in the process of it. When you get there, it's fun. You can play with the partner. You could live in the house. You could drive that fun car. But the juice of it is, most of us get to a place where we attract the money or attract the partner, and now we're like, okay, now what? Right? It's the journey getting there, and then the appreciate. It's like 3 phases of manifestation. There's the pre, there's the pop, and then there's the post, the maintenance of it.
Interesting. I never had someone talk about it that way. That's really cool. I mean, I've read a lot of stuff and, done a lot of stuff. I hadn't heard anybody talk about that little bit you just gave right there. And I just wanted to say something from all that is, although I may not have had the level of financial success you've had just yet, but I have gone from like in a place where, it was really, really rough, right? Financially. And then and this was a long time ago. And then I had for me at the time, was the big financial breakthrough. And then it's like, I just remember it's just a feeling I didn't get anything, but it was this feeling I got when my wife said, when I went to the store to like the Kohl's or whatever to buy some stuff, she goes, yeah, and make sure you buy whatever you want, because finally, like we had like what felt like incredible amount of money, whatever it was. But it was like, just go buy whatever you want. And I didn't probably buy hardly anything because I'm into experiences. I might, put a lot into training or trips or things like that. But when it comes to material things, I might, like if it's something I really like smaller amount of things, high quality, more of that type of person. But with that feeling I had of that was so amazing. When you talk about what I've embodied, the sense of empowerment that I have this feeling like I could buy whatever I want, right? Like to really embody that. And so, yeah, I totally resonate with that. But what I wanted to talk about, because I have met so many people at all different levels financially, including, like the multimillionaires and all that kind of stuff, and probably some billionaires here and there. But yeah, you're right. I mean, there are people, there are millionaires that are more fearful than the average person. They're tremendously more fearful, right? And then there's other, there's a whole spectrum of people who have a lot more money. So it's like, that is interesting, that we can get our desire in a sense. I don't know, because I wonder what you mean by the desire factor, because people are like, this is my desire. I don't want to lose money. I want to make more money. I got to make it right now. And they're in that constantly, night and day. They're just obsessed, and it's all survival energy primarily, though.
That's lack energy. And that's what I taught. Yeah, that's why I talk about the desire factor, because if you feel any type of lower level resistance, stress, drama, chaos, suffering, you're in lack. And that's where striving after those material things, thinking that it's the money that's going to make you feel good, or it's the new car that's going to get you the girl, or, whatever that material stuff is, that's coming from lack. And even when you get it, there's still this sense of it's not enough. I got to do more. I got to make more, there's never enough. But when you're coming from a place of like knowing and feeling the success is what we ultimately want, or the feeling of abundance, or the feeling of well-being, or love, or freedom, or security, or whatever that is. It's the ultimate end result that we're after. And that is always vibrational, because it's the vibration that creates the forms. It's a vibrational universe. We are energy. Everything is energy. We know this from modern science. We know this from quantum physics. We also are energy. We are energy receivers. We are energy containers, and we're energy transmitters. That's, if you've ever heard of law of attraction, we're transmitting out energy all the time. And then what comes back to us? Well, there's a lot of missing pieces to that simplicity of what you send out comes back. Yes, that's true. However, we are the ones that dictate the energy that comes into our physical human experience by the words that we think, the thoughts that the words that we say, the thoughts that we think, the perspectives that we hold, the emotions that we either process or we don't, or the actions that we take. Our consciousness is what creates our outer reality. And if any part of our consciousness, when going for a desire, when having a goal or a dream or anything like that, any part of that that is what I like to call split energy or resistance or in separation, you feel like you don't already have it, you're not fulfilled in it. That's the gap. And that's what takes people longer to manifest something. That's what brings in the doubt and the worry. We have these amazing, amazing minds, but they could be used against us and they could be used for us if we understand where do we need to focus. And that's actually the second principle in the desire factor, is aligning with that desire. And then the second principle is the principle of focus. Where are you focused? Are you focused on what you don't want, on the contrast? Or are you focused on what you do want and the fulfillment of that desire and how you're going to feel once you get it?
Right, right. Yeah, most people are continuing to refocus, whether they want to or not, on how they don't have it, right? And how they feel bad about not having it.
Yes, exactly. Why is it taking so long? All that.
It's
I've
a
heard it
long
all.
time now, right? And
Been a coach for 20 years. I basically have heard every contrast excuse, poor me. And that's what keeps us stuck in the lack of something instead of the fulfillment.
yeah, it's so trippy what our brains begin to perceive as like the truth. The truth is, if it was meant to happen, it would have happened by now, because things are step by step and it happens in a certain order. It should have happened the way my mind thinks it should have. These are the immutable laws of the universe, the way my mind thinks it should be. Right?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. My timing. Now. How come it's not on my timing? Yes, I get it.
Right. So that's one of the many obstacles, right? I know you talk about these 5 common obstacles. We've been touching on them. So I thought maybe we could dive in from there on that. What are you talk about these 5 common obstacles people have in being able to manifest their desire. So can you tell us more about that?
Yeah. So, really all of them are the same thing. It's what we talked about. Our consciousness, when you really think about what our consciousness is, it is the words that we speak. Our words have tremendous power. Words, when you think about what thoughts are, there's a series of words. It even said in the Bible, in the beginning, there was the word. So our words they're the creation, the momentum builder of what is to come. So speaking words that are empowering, that are of abundance rather than lack. So for example, when someone says can't or try or should, I have a list of 30 of these words and phrases. I actually put them into a free program. I know we're going to give the link to watchyourwords.com, but it's understanding what words and phrases pull our energy down, constrict our energy, leave us in lack, leave us in separation, and what to change it to instead. Because each video is like 2 to 3 minutes in length. It tells you what not to say, why, and then what to say instead. Because when you shift your language, you shift all possibilities, you shift all potentiality. You're not shutting something down by saying, well, I can't do that. Now you're shifting and opening up to the possibilities that you can, and the probability and the inevitability that you can. And so watching our words is the first thing. A lot of times people, their own obstacle is the words that they speak. For others, it's their thoughts based in lack. Oh, I don't have what it takes. Well, that doesn't feel good, right? Any thought that doesn't feel good is based in lack. So how can we flip that thought? I do have what it takes. It's a totally different vibration. You're flipping it to the other side of what you do want, right? Oh, I should do that. Do I want to do that? What are my options? Hey, this is what I want to do right now, right? Instead of shooting on yourself, beating yourself up, coming from lack, coming from criticism and judgment, you're coming from a very different way of being. And that's the internal connection. That's having a container that's filled, feeling good. Most people inside of themselves, and I can say this because when I first came upon this, this learning 8 years ago, I was living in hell inside of myself, but I looked happy. I had stuff, and I remember the first time I paid attention to my thoughts and thought, God, I'm really negative. I said that to my best friend. I'm like, I am so negative. She goes, no, you're not. You're one of the most bubbly, happy people I know. And I'm like, well, what's going on in here? Because out here, I'm projecting that I'm a joyful, happy person, but yet inside, I'm getting in trouble and I'm being punished in here. I'm not good enough. I'm never going to be good enough. I'm a pain in the ass. That's what I was told when I was a kid. I'm a pain in the ass. So I took on that persona, that programming, that whatever I do, I'm going to piss someone off. I'm going to upset somebody because I'm a pain in the ass. I had to change all of that programming that was inside of me to literally, and since channeling the council too, it helped tremendously, is understanding that each of us are infinitely loved. Each of us are adored. Each of us have been given our own personalities. Some say, oh, the ego is so bad. The divine created each and every one of us to be different and unique. That's our personality. That personality, lower self, third dimensional, however you want to say it, it has an ego, and that ego is part of it. The ego is not all bad. The ego, I learned some programming, some limitations. It learned how to judge. It learned how to, manipulate, control, all of that kind of stuff. But it's not the totality of the ego. It's not the totality of who we are. It's a part of us. And the big part of us, though, of our own unique personalities, we have our own unique talents and skills and gifts and, different quirks and different characteristics and traits. And, all of those are what the divine loves about us. And the divine loves that and adores it because it's uniquely me, it's uniquely you. Each person is diversified. The divine would be bored. I mean, look what the divine did to the dinosaurs. They can't do much. We're going to just knock them out, make a little bit more human upgrade, give them all a different look and feel and personality and situations. These people will be planted over here. I mean, it's a very different experience when we can embrace the contrast, when we can embrace that we have parts of us that are limited. And when that part shows up, it's like, okay, that's energy. I can easily release that. I can release that trauma. I can release the pain body. So I can be in my love body and be in a sense of enjoying my life.
Yeah. I was just thinking about what's dropping in to just bring up for people to listen and might have these thoughts. I was really thinking about, I'm really enjoying everything you're sharing. And then I was thinking, there's probably some of my audience that are listening like, oh, here we go. The LOA train, and all that.
Yeah.
It's really started to get a bad name because some of it, the way it's presented, seems kind of, fantastical or
very
maybe
best.
not. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not really true, really, entirely, right? So I think that's something. I was just feeling like there might be resistance right now. It's like a lot of spirituality will teach you like it's not about your desire. You need to let go. You've gotten these questions millions of times, I'm sure. Let go of your desire. Just be with all that is. Only the ego would try to make anything happen, and all this kind of stuff. And trust me, look, I got the Buddha back there behind me for people that don't see the video. I mean, trust me, I have practiced. I'm an experimenter. I'm like, okay, let's try this thing. Let's see how that feels. Well, all of a sudden, it seems like that desire is still there. That desire factor, no matter how long I'm in the cave, that desire factor is still there. So, it's like the ego is still there. I don't believe the spiritual teachers, quite frankly, that tell me their ego is completely disappeared, because I've experienced that for periods of time. That's experience, like that sense, like, oh, the personal self's gone and we're free. We're not even trying to manifest anything. But then that desire will come back still, all the same. I mean, no one, even the big spiritual teachers tell you they have preferences. Well, I can't exist without having preferences, right?
Exactly.
So,
yeah. And even if you're, meditating in a cave and your tummy goes, right? There is a desire to eat.
Right.
So you cannot eliminate desires. Like if you're sitting there and your mouth feels like, your tongue is on the floor because you feel dehydrated and you're so thirsty, you have a desire to get up and go get a glass of water. That's a desire. Why is that bad? Or why is that good? It just is. It's your desire. right? You have a desire to get enough rest at night so that you can be awake for the next day to do the things that you want to do and be productive. There's desires that we have about everything. And it's funny though, because it's like the secret desire that most people have is, and they don't want to say that because they're going to be judged and ridiculed, is they want more money. Why do you want more money? Well, first of all, that's greedy. If you want more money, that's really, really greedy, because, I think someone got together someday and said, let's just really mess them up. Let's put in the Bible that it's for the love of money, that is the root of all evil. But then all of us have to use this thing called money. Do we not see a split energy on this, right? I mean, the fact that you can appreciate the things that you have and the money that got you that, like appreciating money because it's sending your kids to the great schools, or appreciating money because you get to go have a wonderful experience of, meeting friends out for dinner, or appreciating the money because you can give back to a charity and help where you want to, or because you got to buy that shoe or that dress or that purse or that, whatever it is. When we appreciate the money and the things that the money gives us, whether it's the feeling or the experience or the whatever it may be, right? Just the amount of money to live and to be able to live in the house that you live in or drive the car you drive and all of that stuff. When we can be in appreciation of that money, we attract more of it, and when we're in fear of it. I remember it was just today. I was like, I'd love a piece of gum. I wonder if I have one in my purse. And I pulled it out and there was one piece of gum left. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so happy. And then I even said to myself, that's like when I was in college and I would find a dollar bill in a pocket when I had no money, right? Or 20. And I'd be like, oh my God, I'm rich now, right? It's like, it's appreciating what you have, because that appreciation will create more of an energy that goes out and more things for you to appreciate. You feel better when your focus is on appreciation and gratitude. We don't feel good when we're worrying, and worrying doesn't really do anything other than call more things to worry to us. It's fascinating as you can feel within yourself something that feels off, or that maybe you feel stressed or you don't necessarily agree with, or that you've already said yes, but you kind of feel a pull back because now it feels like a no. It's like, these are the things within us where we get to know ourselves and spend some quality presence inside of ourselves. Like, I'm very present with myself right now, knowing how I'm feeling while talking to you, while having this interview. Right. Most people give their focus and attention to the thing, and we lose the connection to our own physical body, which is our divine life partner's, vehicle.
I have a question for you. People might label you as a very high performer type of person and all that sort of thing. One of the characteristics often in people that are considered high performers, not always, that they're overtly or secretly very obsessive. And, what does that mean, is different for each person, I suppose, but that there's this obsession for whatever it is you want to have and do and be and all that sort of stuff. And I think there's something to that, like you really, maybe obsessions,
passion
sounds like a sick word, right? Like you're sick, you're obsessed. But yeah, like you're so into it, like that, you'll take it to the nth degree. There's, it's interesting because there's people that, we idolize that claim that they actually were suffering the whole time. Like, no, I wasn't that happy. But I achieved all these things. So then it gives us a weird idea about success. Well, I'm supposed to be like these people because they say obsessed. It's about embracing suffering. You could go, and there's so many people that talk about this, right? You're supposed to suffer. You're supposed to be hard. And I guess that's one way to do it. If that's, I kind of sometimes wonder if that's like a soul agreement or something they have. Like, I'm supposed to suffer this, like that they've decided that maybe, but it's very interesting to me, Christy, that we have those types of examples, and they would swear by, no, I'm happy. I'm very happy. But I never believe them, quite frankly. I never believe them personally.
Well, it's all with what you create in your energy. You can do something with stress because most people get stressed about it. I remember having a moment with my husband when we were renovating my mom and dad's house to sell it. We had this house, and then we have a house that we're building. And he was like, "I'm so stressed, and we have to make a decision about this house." And I go, "Why are you stressed about that? We get to go choose what tile we're putting in our pool." It's like, that's cool. Like, we get to choose that. We get to decide we're building a house and putting a pool in there. What's stressful about that? That's a choice. Am I going to get stressed about this, or am I going to see the fun in this? I'm going to see the joy in this, because that we always have a choice. Every single one of us without fail has been given free will.
Mhm.
And in any situation, we can choose how we want to perceive it. If we're feeling resistance, we're perceiving it from a place of lack. If we're feeling good about it, or at least can shift the perception of contrast to make it feel good for us, then we're in abundance. Looking at, what are my options? What are my choices?
Mhm.
Right? Because that frees us.
Right. I mean, we've got so many choices, is true, right? I always say we can let it be easy if we want to, or you want to try that hard work thing, then knock
Go
yourself
for
out,
it.
right? I mean, it's up
Have
to
at it.
you, right?
Right.
So you talk about, you started to talk about, I don't know if you wanted to share these steps, like the 7-step approach to creating your desires.
So
Yeah.
there's 7 principles, and they all build on each other. It's kind of how energy sets up and how it builds. And so you don't take these 7 steps like a week apart. They're very quick. You can go mentally, emotionally within all of them within a matter of minutes. And it's literally, if you think about how energy flows and how it sets itself up. So we are the initiator. We have all this energy that is available to us, and we're the one that goes, you know what, I want to feel joy, or I want to do that. We make a decision. I have an intention, right? We put it down, a goal, we write it down. We create a dream, or we put a vision board, right? There's something that we desire. We've decided that that's what I desire. So we align both what we say, our thoughts, our perspective, our emotions, and our actions. I am in alignment. I would love to experience this, right? So our focus then, so alignment is the first principle. Our focus needs to take our attention on what we want. And if we hear something of what we don't want, that's where we have to shift that split energy by working with all the different principles. So refocusing back on, what do I want? Why do I want it? How do I want to feel? Right. So now that you're doing that, then you want to, part of your consciousness again, is what to expect, right? Are you expecting that the worst is going to happen, or it's not going to work out, or, all of that, right? All the things that could go wrong and will, are you expecting that? Or are you joyfully expecting the fulfillment of it? And what would that look like? Right. And then after that, and this is quick, right? After that, after you're like, this is what I expect, this is what I want to see, then you allow yourself to feel the vibration of the fulfillment of it. Because you don't want to come in lack feeling like, well, someday when that happens, because then you are aware of the fact that you don't have it. So there, you're not a vibrational match to it. You want to feel, you want to accept it. You say, I am accepting of this. I have this. This is what it's going to feel like. It's going to feel freeing. I'm going to feel, secure. I'm going to feel connected, whatever that feeling is. And then the principle of love is the highest vibration in the universe. That love feeling literally magnetizes it amplifies every vibration. So if you're feeling freedom and you're like, oh, I love what it feels like to feel free, you've just now amplified that vibration. So that's the next one. And then the one after that is surrender. So the 6th principle, after you've loved it, you feel it, any part of your mind, your emotions, perspective, anything that comes up, even though, well, I don't know how to do that. That's where you give all of that over. It's kind of like you're co-creating this reality with your non-physical self. You just give that over. Hey, I don't know the how, but you got it. You got a bird's eye view on my life. You've got more options and choices, palette colors than I do. So I surrender that over to you, and I let myself get back in alignment. Now, because you've let go of the worry, you've let go of the fretting, you've let go of the doubt, you've let go of the stress, you've let go of that because you surrendered. You're in the mind trying to figure out the how. I don't know. I'm going to give it over to you. When the images come in, when the information comes in, when there is some kind of communication by a sign or someone calling you or something like that, then we, as the physical counterpart to the divine, take action with the fullness of everything that we got. Not just doing something, calling it in, not just saying, well, I'm going to do it, but I don't know if it's going to really work. I mean, you're putting the fullness, the best that you got in that moment into that step, whatever that step may be. And that's how energy sets up. And that's how you have this very aligned energy that then flows out and then collects and forms your reality.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the process. I'm thinking right now, even with something I'm doing, we're all launching something as coaches and healers and trainers, and as I launch it right at some point. I hope so, because usually that's one of the ways to amp up your success to some degree, for sure. So, but anyway, as I'm doing that right now, it's like I got all this activity coming up in the next few weeks, and it's like, yeah, still the brain will hit me at times. It'll be like, oh, you got stuff lined up, but you don't really know how to work out, do you? Like, when the doubt comes in, right?
Right.
And how do you handle that? Because you could initially get do so well with the energy and everything, and just to give me a reminder and our audience a reminder. But like, how can we move through that? Because the doubt usually, doesn't always come up, but often it does for people, right? It's very common. Like, even if you get past the initial inertia, like, man, I'm creation, things are starting to happen. Oh my God, but what if it doesn't work out now? And like, what recommendation do you have to move through that?
Well, it's mastering the mind. And what I mean by that is because the mind will do that. The mind's job is to go, okay, you got a launch coming up, and this is where you are in the process. Did you know that this and this and this could go wrong? Right. And so now where does the energy go? It goes to the worrying of this and this and this, instead saying to the mind, good job. Thank you for making me aware of these things. So let me check on point one that you brought up. Okay, we got this in place, all systems go. Right. And then you go down to the next thing. Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't have information. Maybe I need to get more information. Maybe I need do a little bit more research on this to satisfy the mind that all systems are go, right? I channel. I literally will show up for an interview. I'll show up for a class, something where my consciousness goes out and their consciousness comes in. And there's still times for me in my mind, my mom's like, oh, we don't know what we're doing. And so when I can just even create or have a conversation of what is going to be shared, what points are we going to talk about, then my mind is like, okay, I feel prepared, because I have this recurring dream. Like, I'm in the middle of a stadium about to say something or do something or perform something. And I'm like, what am I doing? You know? So for me,
you just have to channel it, Christy.
Well, I guess so, but it's like, I'm in the middle stage. Everybody's looking at me. And I'm like, am I supposed to sing or dance or say something? It's like, what are we doing here? And so for me, that's my way of feeling grounded. Like, I know the structure of what I'm going to be talking about. I know the structure of how this, 90-minute segment of being on stage is going to go, right? My mind will freak out unless it has that type of structure, right? Yeah. Because that's what calms it down. So if we can just know that the mind is going to, excuse me, did you know that this could be a problem? Thank you for letting me know. I'd already checked into that, and all systems are go. It's kind of crazy. But at the same time, if we listen to it, it's the same mind that's like, hey, you want to go get some ice cream? No, I don't want ice cream. Come on, you want ice cream. You want ice cream. No, I'm trying to lose weight. I want to, you know that thing that you're upset about? It'll be so much better with ice cream. Oh, you're right. Everything's better with ice cream. And then you go and eat the ice cream, and then it's the same voice is like, you big fat dummy. Why did you eat the ice cream? You wanted to lose weight. You are so weak. You've got no willpower at all, right?
There you go.
Right. So it's the mind that we have to befriend. It's the mind that we want to listen to and go, that's an interesting perspective, because I'm abundant. I don't have any lack. and start sharing it from a higher level. Because if you push it away, it's what they say, what you resist persists, right? It's like a kid laying in their bed freaking out because there's a coat, hanging out of the closet, and they're like, oh my God, there's a monster in there. When you turn on the light and you look, it's a closet. So
Right.
it's not looking at the mind or not hearing what's coming up. Hear yourself and think, oh, that's interesting. Right.
Right. Yeah, totally. Like, so what I do is yeah, that's great. Yeah, to look into, because it's got something legitimate to share with you. And then when you allow yourself to get connected around the area that's feeling disconnected, then the worry goes away. It's like, okay, yeah, you got it. Thanks for checking in on that. I was worried about that thing. Okay,
Yes.
all right. Because yeah, I was just thinking about this morning too, how I take for granted sometimes, because not everybody does it. It's like when I have worries, when I'm, don't forget, and I stay in my practices, is I just channel the answers like like you probably do. Like, okay, I'm worried about how's that going to work out? What's the truth? What wants to happen here? Okay. All of a sudden the answers come in. I'm like, oh, okay, I can relax.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So harnessing that intuition and letting the energy drop in through the divine, connection there. So open up those circuitry.
This is coming up for me to share this, so I think this is going to be useful for somebody in your audience. But the best place to understand is all time is simultaneous, right? So we were born, we had our birthing, we had our first year, second year, third year. All along that, we're getting programmed, get our feelings hurt. Mom and dad didn't pay attention to us. I got a bad grade at school. I didn't make the soccer team. We're having all these different experiences. Ooh, I found the love of my life. I have a crush on someone. I met a new best friend. We have all these experiences, right? And then we have this future in front of us that is unknown. And the best place to be to literally feel the presence and the power of this moment, because it's really all we ever have, even though all time is simultaneous. But the presence and power of the divine is breathing us now. And if we go back, because our mind will do that, our mind is always cycling between the past, the present, and the future all the time. And people that say you should just be present in the moment, right? Our minds don't do that. So what we want to do, so that we're working with the mind, this is energy mastery, is when your mind goes to a time when something felt like a trauma or didn't feel good, or you felt something was unjust, or you were disappointed, and you feel that snag, that's the time to go into your belly and let that energy that got stuck and imprinted in that period of time, let that release. Bring in the energy of compassion for that part of you that either didn't know what you knew, or the people didn't know what you knew, or they just weren't conscious enough, or they just had no awareness because they were wrapped up in their own stuff. If you allow that part of you to have compassion, that releases the underlying energy of it. And now you can think about a memory and you're not being pulled down. So that allows you to be more present in the present, because you're not being, if you hear a song, right, and you immediately go back to that memory of when you remembered that song. Well, if it was a good memory, you feel good feelings. What if it was a trauma? What if there was a situation that happened around that, right? It's like it pulls us out of the present moment, and now we're focused there. We're back there in the trauma. We're back there getting our heart broken, or we're back there meeting the person, right? So we want to make sure that if there's anything that is less than positive or feels good, that we're shifting those lack perspectives. We're healing those traumas of the past, so that we can then project into the future, deliberately choosing what we want our experiences to be based on what we choose now as the energy we're giving out.
Yeah. That's a great point on the songs, because to be more, with whatever comes up, but like the songs is an example, but like, yeah, it stirs those emotions. And yeah, sometimes it's so-called positive or negative, but sometimes, it reminds me when that person left me, and or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of songs that try to pull on those emotions, right?
Yeah.
But if we can not try to get rid of the feeling, but as they say, be present with it, allow it to be a time of healing, that's great. One of the things I've always loved doing with songs is I make up my own lyrics. I'm like, I like the beat. Lyrics. I'm just gonna make up my own lyrics. I just transform it. I just channel my own messages for the song. Like, okay, now it can work for me. Like I
I
can
love
enjoy
it.
the beat. Now I've got the lyrics that I want rather than what's just being given to me. So yeah, maybe there's a lesson for life there too, right? Like,
There
the
is.
beat in and it's trying to tell you this. Well, you don't have to just go with what the crazy mind is telling you should go with. You can go with what's true for you, what wants to come through your channel. Yeah,
Yeah.
so anyway, so we could go on and on for a long time. We are a place where I want to go ahead and have you share your gift. I forgot about this, but I actually signed up for that and went through your program. So I could testify for your free program totally. So you want to share
Awesome.
more? I'll tell them what I experienced with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So like we were talking about, words are really important. And I would have people ask me all the time, like, you're talking about esoteric stuff, right? You're talking about healing the pain body and universal laws and vibration. How do we take this and put it into practical terms in order for me to raise my vibration, to shift, to, create a different outcome, really? And it's first start with watching your words, because when you start becoming aware of how you feel when you say a certain word, and then you shift it and you can feel the difference, that awareness right there is everything. Because if you can do that with words, then you can do that with your thoughts or your beliefs or your emotions or even the actions that you take. So start there with your words. And this 30-day program helps you do that, because it's a consistent. Any success that anybody has is because there's some level of consistency. There's something that they do, whether it's throw free throws into a basketball or into a basket net, or play the flute or whatever it is, energy, vibration. It's all about losing weight, building muscle, dancing. It's all about the consistency. And so if you want to change a habit and truly feel it, this is 30 words and phrases, 30 days in a row. So you start to get into the habit of looking for and watching your words, you change them, and then it's amazing what happens. So like I said, every video you get a video a day. They're 2 to 3 minutes. They're quick. They're fun. They're funny. And you have the word or phrase you want to get rid of. Why? I'm always a why person. I don't want someone to tell me, stop doing this. Well, I want to know why. Tell me why. I tell you why. And after I tell you why, you're going to want to change your word. So why, and then what to say instead. So it's at watchyourwords.com.
Yeah. Yeah. I like I said, it's just maybe because it's been a while since I went through it, but yeah, I was like, and I just was focusing on that as we came onto the show, the exact gift. And I was like, oh yeah, this was, we're doing an interview. I'm like, I did that. I remember that. I remember enjoying those videos a lot. And I was laughing at the things you would say. And I can't remember everything, but I just remember it was really, really cool. Some of it was like, because I've been, with watching your thoughts, for a really long time, a lot of training on that in the past, but it's see, I just did it there. And and also it was so entertaining. I just remember being late and it was quick. And I just remember as I was getting into them, I was just like, I want to keep watching the next one. I like this. I like this. I like this. So
Awesome.
I
Great
believe
feedback.
that you will really love what Christy has to share in that, and watchyourwords.com to take advantage of that. Watch those things. And I know some people also will fight that to say, I don't know all this stuff about watching your words. We got to walk the tightrope all the time. It's watch our thoughts all the time. Oh my God, it's about the vibe you're in only. And it's like, why can't it be both? Why can't it be all of it? It's like,
it is all of it.
Right. So, and that's what Christy teaches about. She teaches about all of it. And that's just one component, but it's a very powerful one, because there's words we use all the time, like the one, like you should, like you were saying before, you should do that. You should be this. You should, what's that all about? Right.
Yeah.
Things like that. We can lose those kind of words, and it's very powerful. I promise you. So check that out at watchyourwords.com. All right. So Christy, we're the time of the show where I like to just do some brief tune-ins on my guests. Are you ready for me to do that?
I am. How fun.
All right, cool. Let's see what comes through. I never quite know. You know how it is being a channel yourself. So let's just see whatever things want to come through here. Some of it is just like obvious, but like they're just showing me as you as that master teacher, maestro, like you like just that you're just so in a creative mode. It's like you've got all the energy and all the and then the dance between the mind and the spirit. And it's like 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 I've got this I don't know the classical music piece, but I've got it going on in the background. And it gives me kind of chills. And it's just like you're like everybody just listen, this is so important, and like the, you know, like it's just so fun for you, the dance between all the knowledge you have and then the channeling is really profound. So I anyway, so that's what they're just showing me there. See what else comes through. So they're directing me to your third eye. So there's perhaps there's a little bit more with the steeliness of your third eye, and you're all about wanting to be fun and all that. And then you have the past history, especially of like the critical, you know, the critical factor, right? Of being hard on yourself so fervently, like you mentioned earlier. But then this third eye energy, it's wanting to really focus in on something and really to really nail things. So let me see if I can get a little more information on that. It's just asking for you to continue to increase your focus on your biggest desires and dreams through visioning it through the perhaps through your third eye energy, like just really like there's another level and layers and depth to get into with that. And they're just encouraging because there's even so much more possible is how it's coming to me. Let's see what else is next. There's some concerns in the root chakra around becoming too ungrounded, because you can be very practical and grounded. Then you get excited, then you start channeling, and you get priorities and things pulling on you this or that way. So let's see what they want to share about that, though. So whatever is your favorite method, but they're just really saying this grounding is really important, to use the practices of, you know, really anchoring that grounding even more than perhaps you already do. So like they do show me the blue light with Archangel Michael, for example, and that energy. Yeah, this grounding is really important for the next level, so to speak, because you've been, as you expand, as you know, you get more unbounded and more ungrounded in a way, but then it's a matter of getting that grounding for that next level with the energy. All right, so that's what comes through, some things to share.
Thank you.
Yeah, on anything that came through.
I don't think so. I think that really makes a lot of sense.
Cool. Awesome. So everybody, if you want to check me out, you can go to yoursacredpurpose.com. I offer all kinds of energy scanning of all sorts. Here I'm just kind of tapping in real quick to whatever's coming through. You can go ahead and apply to meet with me if you're, if you are a coach, trainer, healer, etc. There's an opportunity to do that right there at yoursacredpurpose.com. I also offer a meditate and make money meditation to help open your energy and let those downloads and insights come in, so you're not worrying and it's so much doubt all the time, and allow the money to flow. Go to yoursacredpurpose.com for that. And the last thing is my Rock Your Sacred Purpose group. I do energy scans and channeling myself there and offer wisdom at 3 p.m. on Mondays, Central Time. Go to Rock Your Sacred Purpose on my Facebook group. All right, Christy. So it's been so great to have you on, and I just wanted to give it to you for any last words you have for the audience.
Each of us are, when we understand that we're physical, but we're also metaphysical, we're energy, and that we have the ability to command energy and to guide and direct energy, it becomes really fun. Like life becomes really fun because you can start seeing the manifestations of something you deliberately intended, brought in the energy for, have it manifest. And it's just a very different way of living with understanding your full power.
Yes. Amen. And so it is. Thank you so much, Christy, for sharing all your energy and wisdom, your vibration force with us and everything. Thank you so much for your generosity. And thank you for everyone listening in as well. So keep on tuning in. We'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcasts. Till next time, everyone. Goodbye for now. Listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.